big data, cyber security, multimedia, and another one is the BITS, right? So these are some possible programs UOW offer to students. First, I define what is a student. So a student, very simple, has the name. The student has the number, and also a gender. If I want to make my life easier, I define a private static variable, the number, maybe I say the ID. I define a number start from, again, 90,000. So therefore, when I have the default constructor, I try to supply complete classes for all. So public, student. So for this one, student register, no name, no gender. I still need to increase the number by 1, right? I need to reserve a place to someone to register for the subject. So I can say ID is equal to the number. So maybe I can say name is unknown, and the gender, not too sure. After that, I increase the number, right? So I try not to use the these to identify that. Otherwise, I will say a student, string, name, character, gender. So I can say, maybe I have a mutator method. I say set info of the name and the gender. So we try to see the set info first. It's the public method. Set is the void method. Set the info. So I pass in the name. I pass in the character gender. So I can say this dot name equal to name. This dot gender equal to gender, and plus the number. ID is equal to the number. Very similar to what we had just now. So in that case, if you want to, for this one, you can have one statement. You can say these of unknown and a question mark. So they to say, if you want, you can replace everything here by just one statement, up to you, right? Now the next one is important. Public, a copy constructor. I want to duplicate the student S. So I can also say these of S dot the name, S dot the the gender. So after that, this is the mutator method. So before the mutator method, I have the assessor method. All assessor methods are public. I have the string, get the name, I return the name, I have the public, int get the ID, I return the ID, public, character, get the gender, I return the gender. I prefer to give you the complete classes for each of them, because later on I will generate the UML diagram. You try to match the method that I designed together with the UML diagram. But I will show you the UML diagram a bit later. So this is the mutator method. We have a few. So suppose you only want to change the name, set the name. So you can say this dot the name is equal to the name. So you have the public void set the ID. ID I prefer not to set. The ID cannot change, right? ID cannot change. I will tell you one day certain information cannot change. What else? The void set the gender. Gender can change. So I can say this dot gender is equal to gender. So maybe ID can also be changed because some special student, right? Some special student maybe due to exchange, we may want to assign an ID to that student. So I just let ID also can change. Void set ID and then int ID. So this dot ID is equal to ID, right? So finally, display method. So I still use the same name, public, void, display student. So I can say system dot out dot printf name percentage s percentage n. I put the name here. System dot out dot printf student number percentage d percentage n. I put the ID. System dot out dot printf gender percentage c percentage n gender. So I close the class. So my file name I say test UOW. So I have a class called test UOW. I have the main method. Void main string GS. I save and leave it empty for the time being. So now I can Java test UOW.java. So far so good. Now I can define a class UOW student. UOW student is a student, has a, has a student, S, UOW has a student, and every student enroll to a program P, right? Every student enroll to a program P. So in that case, I define the default constructor. Sorry, these two are private. So these two are private, right? And then here are UOW student. So of course, if I leave it empty, by default, S is equal to null and P is equal to null. Right? By default, S is equal to null, P is equal to let me see. Now, the best, we initialize the student. We say S is equal to new student. If you don't do that, what happens if a student enroll to the program? That student has no number, right? If I put in null, then it's meaningless. In that case, I will prefer to construct a student inside the UOW student. And then for the program, no problem. I can say the program is equal to null, right? The program is equal to null. So now I have a UOW student. I can say student S, and then after that program P. Now, if I say this dot S equal to S, this dot P equal to P, I actually don't like it very much, right? I actually don't like it very much. Which one I don't like? It's this one. I assign an object S to this object. So that I assign an object S to this object. So this is what I don't like. So then what shall I do if I don't like it? I can say I don't like this statement, right? I don't like this statement. If I don't like it, what shall I do? I can say this dot S is equal to new student. I can say this dot S is equal to new student. Now I can say S dot set info of, I call the maybe I make it simple first, because otherwise if I put it too complicated, one day we will complicate our life. But for the time being, we do a simple one. This dot S equal to S. Because if I do it, then I will confuse you a bit more for your assignment. I make it simple life for the time being. It's okay to do that. This dot S to S. Now I say public UOW student copy constructor student S UOW student, sorry. Maybe UOW S. So in that case, I will say these, I try to make life simple first, UOW S dot S, right? And UOW S dot P, right? So now I want to assessor method. Public student, get the student. So you can get the student. So I return S. And public program, get program. So I return the program, right? After that, mutator method. So public void. I don't configure the name. There is the set info. Maybe I set the UOW. I pass in the student S. I pass in the program P. I make my life easier. I can just simply say this dot S equal to S. This dot P equal to. After that, display method. I have public void display UOW. Now I can say S dot print student, S dot the display student. So I display the student first. Now I display the program, system dot out dot printf program. I put percentage S, percentage N. Now over here I want to use the string dot value of the P. I close the display UOW. I close the class. So I save. I Java, make sure in order. Return, not program, return, what did I put there? Program, return P, sorry. Program I call P, right? Save. Okay, now I designed my main method. First, everything default, right? Everything the default. So first, I define student as a 0 is equal to new student. So this student has no. Now, if we start with the, if I start with the, can I, if I do, okay, never mind. Suppose I start with the UOW first. UOW student, US0 is equal to new UOW student. I print out US0 dot display UOW. So this is the first one that I want to display. I save. I Java. I Java. Name unknown, student number equal to that, gender unknown, program equal to null. So there to say everything is the default. Now, student enroll to program. First, I need to define a student S, maybe S1 is equal to new student. So this student has a name, Tan AB. This student has a gender, F. After that, this student will enroll to a program. I say UOW student. US1 is equal to new UOW student S1 a program. So I say program dot security. Now US1 dot display UOW, right? I save. Okay, so now Java. Java. Sorry. Save. Java. So now I have the second student. I have an area of focus, security, right? So you can continue to construct the object. Now, to save your life for the assignment number 2, I save as test UOW number 1. I don't let you people struggle too much. Explore, text file processing, right? So in that case, I import Java dot util dot scanner. I import Java dot IO dot the file. I import Java dot IO dot IO exception. I save. I save first. Now I say new. So I created a file. Name alien, female. After that, taking the program cyber security. Okay. Yes. So the next student, a boy, male, multimedia, 2 subject, 2 students. I save as the text file called UOW file .txt. Right? So for this one, I save as already saved at first version. just now. Okay, already saved as a 1. So I save as a the 1. Now I throw away everything. I can define a static variable, private static scanner input, so that you will see the outcome a bit later. So before I forget, I say throw the IO exception. Now I can say input is equal to new scanner, new file, UOW file dot txt is a string, right? Okay. Now I needed to have the name, the string, the name, and also character, gender, and then after that program P, right? So now I read the first student. I read the first student. I can say name is equal to input dot next line, right? After that, the gender is equal to input dot next dot character at 0. So with the name and the gender, I can construct the first student. I can say student S1 is equal to new student, name and the gender. I can construct the first student. After that, I have the program is equal to input dot next. But input dot next is a word. So in that case, I need to convert input dot next to the program. I say program dot value of this one, right? Now I can construct the first UOW student. I say UOW student, UOW1 is equal to new UOW student, followed by S1, followed by program. Now I can say UOW 1 dot display what? Display UOW. Display UOW. So I read in the first student. I save. I Java. Oh no, sorry. UOW1. Semicolon. If I gave such a good example to you, still can't do the assignment, then too bad. Have to work very, very, very hard. I actually don't want to give this one. I prefer you people go to explore. It's the P. It's not the program, it's the P. Program P. article no enum content called cyber security. Have I spelled correctly? Cyber security. What is it? The text file is what? Cyber security. I have my first student. Now, you want to have a 2 record? No problem. I copy. I paste. So I read the second record, second student. Right? I still use the same, but for the object of a student, I change it to student 2. Program still the same. Now I have the UOW2. This one I change to S2. This one I change to UOW2. And Java. Java expected the error. If this one didn't give me errors, I don't know what to say. If this one give me error, I have something to say. How did I construct the text file? After the cyber security, I pressed the enter key. Am I right? After that, I enter Tan Ah Boy, the next line. So the enter key remain inside the input buffer. So therefore, I need to read and throw away the input buffer before I can read in the second student Tan Ah Boy. Right? So therefore, over here, I actually want you people to explore it, but now I do it for you. Input dot next one. So I save Java. So the second student also displayed. So therefore your assignment number 2 level of difficulty more or less the same. You have 3 classes, right? 1 class for the main method. The other 2 classes, you will see them very soon, right? You will see them very soon after we finish the lesson. I will enable the link. I will set the due date, everything, right? So from 10 p.m. onward, you can submit the assignment too. Currently, I have nothing else to do. I finished all the marking of the lab 3. I have nothing else to do. So for the next 4 days, I hope that every day a few students, at least 20, 30 students submit. Not like the lab number 3. I gave you 2 days. When I went home on Saturday, only 20 submissions. So of course 20 submission, life too easy for me. I just clear the submission for the 20 copy. Sunday I went to JB. I came back in the evening. I entered to the system around 7 p.m. I saw 100 copies of submission. Right? So I tried my best to mark a little bit. At midnight I received 190 copies of submission. No joke for that, right? You people didn't cooperate. If some students submitted at least 100 copies on Saturday, then I can work on Saturday a little bit. But Saturday I only had 20 copies of a submission until the Sunday, almost midnight. Almost all students submitted. I had no time to finish the marking, right? So I marked until 1 a.m. in the morning. Then I went to bed. The next day, I had class. I also can't finish the marking, right? I had class afternoon 2 session. So Tuesday I clear everything, right? So I didn't owe you anything. So now I have nothing else to do, waiting for you to submit your assignment number 2. Don't wait until the last day to submit the assignment 2. Try to submit as soon as you can, right? As soon as you can. I say that assignment 2 is not that difficult. You have the 3 classes, you just follow the guideline, put in I want to show the UML diagram. So I close. Maybe I close first. Now open that one. UOW. Yes. Now, I close the lecture note first. Where's my NetBeans? The NetBeans is here. You people already have advantage compared to the full-time student. Full-time student will see this example only on Saturday, and then they only have 1 day to do what? To adjust the thing. I ask them to prepare the groundwork first. So the Java application. Next, so this is actually the project is the test UOW. Maybe inside the folder, the part-time folder, but in the part-time folder, no main method, no main class. I finish. Okay, so now I have a new file inside the project, the Java. Next, so I say test UOW1, right? Because my program name is UOW1. So I say finish. As usual, I throw away all the garbage. I never bother what NetBeans type here. So now I select all, I copy, I paste. Now to those students who work on the NetBeans, if I am not wrong, I copy the data file. Where's my data file? My data file is here. I copy. I go to the NetBeans. This is my folder just now. I try to paste the file inside the folder, right? I try to paste the file inside the folder. So now I can run. I got some similar output in the NetBeans environment, right? I got some similar output in the NetBeans environment. I can close this one. I go to generate the UML diagram. Simplify the UML diagram, I remove. This is the student. I should put let me say how to put it. I have to find way to declare it nicely. Like that. Because the box is the truth. I want to find a good way to represent that. Like that better. So the decoration look a bit better. So you can see that, assume that you are given such an UML diagram. First you design the enum, the student, right? And then the UOW student. After that, a main method to drive the whole application. If I give you such a UFL diagram, if you try to map the UML diagram to the program that I wrote just now, one to one, right? One statement, one method, one line, one method, one line, one method, and then all these, if you look at all these are private, right? All these are private, all these are public, all these are public, and inside the main method, if I declare scanner as a private, you can also do so, right? If you don't want to put for this scanner to be defined private or not, it doesn't matter to me. You still can do it just inside the main method. But the most important, you must respect all the specification. So you try to see how to apply that to another application, right? To another application. Is it okay, everyone? Right? So I hope that with this example, everything is in order. I save. Old diagram. No, that's part-time. I still say UOW diagram. Now I can close this one. I put this one in. I put this one in. I clear all the garbage. Clear all the garbage.
What's the static for?
Static.
Okay.
Means, like if you got one method is static, one is not static. Right? Then the not static cannot access the static one, right?
Not static cannot access that.
Yeah, both must be static, then they can access each other.
If both not static,
No, cannot have both not static one, because I think main method is already static.
I think we still have
And one is not
let
static.
me see how
then-
many more chapters.
then,
This one,
but
Cannot
isn't this the
access
private
station.
and the public thing?
This one,
no, private.
array.
Okay,
This one.
what they say is private field, right?
Actually, we
Public
still
method
have
can access private.
we only cover up to chapter 10, 11 and
Public
12 are
method
nothing.
can access private.
Yeah. This one also quite confusing.
It's subject
I
revision.
actually
It's
emailed
nothing.
him to explain, but he
Never.
no, he quite okay, but he never explain.
Okay,
Later.
now, program designed by us up to today. Main method, the most important. In the main method, I do statement 1, I do statement 2, I do statement 3, I do statement 4, I do statement 5. I finish all the statement in the main method, I come out, I finish my task. No decision was made during the design. No repetition was made in the design. If I want to do some simple repetition, like what I did just now, I copy and paste 2 times. I read 2 student record. I copy and paste 3 times. I read 3 student record. But what happened if I have 1,000 of record? Do I need to copy and paste 1,000 times? No, I don't want to do that. I want to apply repetition strategy in my design. But sometimes I have some other alternative. I say that if this is the female student, I want to add 20 marks to female student. If this is the male student, I want to minus 30 marks to all the male students. I have some other alternative, right? So therefore, this is what we call the program control. There are 3 types of program control. Sequential execution, what we did so far. After that, we have the selection control structure. We also have the repetition control structure. So we will see a bit of each of them. So algorithm and program control. Any computing problem can be solved by executing a series of actions in a specific order. An algorithm is a procedure for solving a problem in terms of the action to execute and the order in which this action execute. So specifying the order in which a statement, or sometimes we call them action, execute in a program is called program control. So Java is a generic programming language suitable for a wide spectrum of application. Some application may need to implement very complex algorithm which may conditionally execute different procedure or repeat certain operation several times or skip some stages in certain circumstances. So you can see that the UML diagram that you are going to see in future or may become more and more complicated. If one day you work for a project, for a company, you will see that the UML diagram becoming more and more complicated. Does Java have enough structural element to implement algorithm of any complexity? Of course, answer is yes. Now the structured program theorem states that algorithm of any complexity can be implemented using only three basic program control structures. The first one is the sequential execution of a statement, conditional execution of a statement, repetitive execution of a statement. Java is based on the concept of structured programming and support all three program control structures. And Java also supports other flow control statements inherited from other programming languages. For example, the use of a continue statement and the use of the break statement. But these flow control structures are redundant and should be avoided as their use indicate poor programming structuring. So therefore, if you have learned how to use the continue, if you use how to use the break in the past, throw away this structure, right? So this is not suitable when you write the program using these two features. Sequential execution. So this is the simplest execution control structure. Statements are executed one after the other in the order they are written in the program. For example, first I construct an object, INP. I construct an object input, right, equal to new scanner system.in. After that, I do the next statement, system.outprint, input the true number. After that, I say D1 equal to input.next double. After that, D2 equal to input.next double. After that, double average equal to D1 plus D2 divided by 2.0. After that, double D3 equal to 3.0 times D1 times D1 minus 4.0 times the D2. So therefore, sequential execution presumes that statements can refer only variables which have been declared. Forward referencing is not supported. Let's say, for example, suppose you have the double D1 equal to 4.0, D2 is equal to 7.5. After that, you say double average is equal to D1 plus D2 plus D3 divided by 3.0. You declare D3 after the double average. Java compiler make noise. Java compiler say that D3 has not been declared yet. So therefore, order is very important for the sequential execution. Compounder statement. A group of a sequential statement can be continued into one compounder statement. Compound statements are indicated by curly braces. Let's say, for example, suppose this set of statement is a compound statement. In this compound statement, I can have a statement, I can have a declaration, I can also have an assignment statement. So you can see that variables defined inside the compound statement is what? The sum. The moment you exit from the compound statement, the variable sum no longer exists. If you attempt to access to sum, Java compiler make noise. So whenever you have a compound statement, opening curly bracket and the closing curly bracket, all statements inside the compound statement should be indented. Day to day, you must begin typing each of the statements inside by at least a tab key. Of course, one tab key should be more than enough. So a variable declared inside a compound statement exists only inside this compound statement. outside the compile statement, this variable no longer exists. If you want to use the variable sum, in that case, it would be better that you declare the variable sum outside the compile statement. A change assignment. A statement can include several assignment operators. For example, int A1 and A2. A1 and A2 are of int data type. You can also have the assignment statement of A2 is equal to A1 equal to 5. Now, if you are given such an assignment statement, obviously A2 is the L value, right? A2 is the L value. And what is the R value? A1 equal to 5. But if you look at A1 equal to 5, A1 is also an L value of a sub assignment statement. So therefore, this assignment statement is equivalent to, first, you assign A1. You assign A5 to A1. After that, you assign A1 to A2. Providing that the left operand is always an L value. So considering that associativity of the assignment operator is right to left, the statement can be rewritten as, if you want to make it more explicit, you can say A2 is equal to bracket A1 equal to 5. Then you make it more explicit. You assign 5 to A1 first. After that, the value of 5 is then assigned to A2. And the expression can be modified further. Suppose you can say A2 equal to 4 plus bracket A1 equal to minus A3. No problem. The compiler will do something inside the bracket first. A1 is equal to 5 minus 3, which is equal to 2. Then A2 is equal to 4 plus A1. So this statement with change assignment is not valid. Suppose you say A1, A2 equal to 4 plus bracket of A1 plus 4 equal to 5. A1 plus 4 equal to 5. A1 plus 4 is not an L value. The L value must be a variable, right? The L value must be a variable. So therefore, this statement is not a valid statement. Of course, statements with change assignment are supported by Java. They don't lead to any performance improvement. They are not very common. Good to know, doesn't mean that you can apply that to your design. Try to avoid them as much as possible. So analysis and implementation of statement with the increment and decrement operator need special attention. Let's say, for example, suppose I have int A1 equal to 0, A2 equal to 0. If I say A2 is equal to A1 plus minus 4, what does that mean? We look at the R value. A2 is equal to A1 minus 4. So that to say the compiler will say A2 is equal to A1 minus 4. A1 equal to 0, A1 minus 4 become minus 4, right? After that, A1 is equal to 0, so 0 minus 4 is equal to minus 4. After that, A1 plus A1 will become 1. So the compiler will do the increment later after using the old value of A1 to do the computation. However, if you say A2 is equal to plus A1, the compiler will increase A1 by 1 first. A1 equal to A1 plus 1, and A2 is then equal to A1 minus 4. So increment and decrement operator can be applied only to an L value, right? So they to say, if you say A1 equal to 0, A2 equal to 0, if you say A2 equal to A1 minus 4 plus, compiler make noise, right? You cannot apply to an R value. So you cannot put the increment and the decrement operator on the left side of the assignment operator. You cannot say plus A2 equal to A1 minus 4. So this will lead to compilation error. So sequential execution presumes that the next statement cannot be executed before execution of the current one has not been completed. Let's say, for example, suppose I have a double D1 equal to 2.0, double D2 equal to 4.0, double average is equal to calculate average of D1 and D2. Now the compiler says that I want to take a break. I go to compute the average first for V1 and V2. After I return back to the caller, then I can continue to do the other statement. For example, double D3 is equal to average plus 3.0. So therefore, if a statement includes a method call, it cannot be completed before the method returns the program control back. Statement with the user input method. Execution of statement with the next double and next in method may introduce a confusion in your program flow. For example, suppose you say in equal to new scanner system.in. So you ask the user to enter an integer number. Int num equal to input dot next int. Int result equal to 2 times num times 1. So you may expect that a program will pause to get an integer value entered by the user. However, if an integer value is already in the keyboard input buffer left from the previous input, it will be taken without any pause, ignoring current user input. That to say, if you didn't clear the input buffer is not empty, input buffer still have some integer inside. In that case, the compiler will use the leftover integer and then assign to the number. What about the value that you enter 15 will not be used? Will remain inside the input buffer. So incorrect method call can break the sequential execution of a statement. Suppose I say system.out.println a menu, right? After that, I say calculated, you say system.out.print1 to calculate the area, system.out.println2 to calculate the parameter, system.out.println, please select an option. After that, you bypass by a method to get the option, right? And then system.out.println press any key to continue. So you wait for the key press. If everything okay, you display the menu. And system.out.println press Q to quit and wait for the key press and you return the option. So sometimes the flow of this is incorrect in the method code. So you can see that when you inside here the method name is called display menu. And then over here, you call the display menu again. What about the three statements after the display menu? You don't have a chance to execute them. So Java compiler also not so happy. Java compiler say that these three statements will never be executed because you call the display menu again, just like you repeat and repeat to call the display menu. So program writing style. Sequential executed statement can be logically subdivided into group of action according to their purpose. Blank lines and comments do not affect the program execution, but they make the program code easier to follow. Right? Just like you want to, if you have a comment statement say that you want to compute, you want to calculate the paint volume. You receive three parameters. First, you want to compute the area. Right? After that, you want to compute the volume, and then you return the paint volume. So ideally, all the statement or compulsory, all the statements should be indented in a compound statement. After a set of a related statement, you may want to leave a blank line. So one blank line should be more than enough. Now the UML activity diagram. UML cluster diagram describes the relationship between classes and require field and method inside classes. How workflow inside method can be described. Activity diagram can provide graphical representation of workflow of a control inside the method. Let's say, for example, in this activity diagram, I want to calculate the area. I may want to say that I want to apply the Heron formula in order to get the area. After that, I also want to calculate the paint volume, another action, and then this is the end of the workflow. So then to say the detail of the computation is not defined. So you may want to supply the formula somewhere else. So let's say another UML activity diagram. You have a simple flow diagram. Calculate the usage. So you can say usage is equal to a formula, right? Current reading minus the previous reading, and then you say you have the calculate usage charges. So you have the usage charges is equal to usage times the rate, and you want to compute the GST. You can say GST is equal to 0.1 times the usage charges. After that, you have another say calculate the total charges. You have a formula for this purpose. Then today, the detail is not supplied in the UML flow diagram, and then the detail can be obtained from somewhere else. So a program calculates the total charges for electricity usage. For example, I have a class called electricity bill. I have two variable or two constant, one constant for the rate and one constant for the GST. I have the main method, which is public, and I also have the calculate total charges is another public static method. So in the NetBeans, you use underscore to specify that this is either the constant or the static variable. So this is the workflow in the main method. You may want to get the command line argument and then calculate the total charges and also print the total charges. And then to calculate the total charges, you may have another workflow. You want to calculate the usage, you want to calculate the usage charges, you want to calculate the GST, and you want to calculate the total charges. So this is the program to calculate the total charges for electricity usage. You have defined two constants, one for rate, one for GST. After that, you try to use the command line argument to read in the first value and assign to previous. You try to use the command line to read in the second value. The value entered using the command line are of a string type. So therefore, you need to convert them to double before you can assign to previous and current. After that, you call a method to compute the total charges by passing in the value of the previous and current to the PR and CR respectively. In this method, you compute all the charges and return the total charges back to the column, right? And assign to the total. After that, you display the result. Okay, so I think we can stop here, right? And tomorrow we can enter to the relational and logical operator on the selection statement using the if-else statement and also a lot of things, right? I will show you a lot of examples for that. Okay?
I open any random his file or any one of his file.
Oh.